Portugal. That match gave me a headache for 84 minutes, but then... Oh, 3-0. Okay. What's up? I'm Adrian, and welcome to Rabona TV's coverage of Euro 2020. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for daily videos and streams. Well, the streams are now and then type of thing, but anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so Portugal got the win, which is the important part, but the theme of this review will be that it didn't have to be that hard. With respect to Hungary, who, by the way, with one of their top players missing in Dominik Szoboszlai, looked good going forward when they went forward. But with respect to them, this match was made difficult thanks in part to their deep, resolute defending, and thanks in part to Fernando Santos and his team selection. Seeing two holding midfielders in Danilo and William Carvalho was a very frustrating choice. I get it. We're playing in Hungary and they have a capacity crowd. They have some talented players, but I find this Portuguese approach to be one of fear more often than not. Fernando Santos is a master of simply not losing. And I think this team sheet showed that. Yes, it's important to simply not lose in a tournament setting, but with the talent we have at our disposal, it sometimes feels like we are going overboard with our respect towards our opponents. So that was the main thing that was bothering me, as I wish that one of our holding midfielders had been on the bench and someone like Renato would start, as he always drives forward with the ball with purpose. There is a risk with someone like Renato in that he does tend to lose the ball and take risks with his dribbling, but you could say the same about the rest of the Portuguese squad today. Countless passes went straight to the Hungarian defenders, guys like Jota dribbling into cul-de-sacs and just in general giving the ball away, and some very poor finishing to boot. Again, Jota was culpable here. Ronaldo missing from 6 yards out wasn't a great look either, but Hungary again did defend well for most of the match. In the second half, I really was hopeful that we would see the aforementioned Renato come on as Santos was playing his double pivot, but gave William Carvalho more license to go forward than Danilo. But there are other players in the squad that can play that role of a sort of 8, I guess you would call it. Renato can play that role, and it was clear that the double pivot wasn't necessary in this match. Hungary still had opportunities regardless, and in fact, they scored on one of them, but it was called back for offside, thank goodness. Man, it would have been so Portugal to lose or tie a match like this. Anyway, we were begging for a change, and when it came, I think it was fair to say that it was a bit of a confusing one. Bringing on Rafa Silva for Bernardo Silva was a surprise. Not that Bernardo is unsubbable or anything like that, just based off of the season that Rafa had. Rafa wasn't the kind of guy that I would look to in this sort of scenario. I mean, as we said at the half, perhaps Santos was looking to bring on some quick guys late to try to torch the tired defense and get in behind, but that's not really how Rafa was being utilized when he came on, because Hungary were sitting so deep, it was rare that he got those opportunities. Finally, we got the change we wanted though. Renato on for William and Andre Silva on for Jota. Good changes. I sign off on those for sure. And 3 minutes later, in the 84th minute, Rafael Guerreiro scores the opener for Portugal. A fortunate opener in some respects, taking a massive deflection, but you knew that the floodgates would open from there, and they did. Rafa, again to his credit, because I was shocked when he came on, he won a penalty that Ronaldo converted. Shout out to Ronaldo for breaking a couple of records though. And then the stunning moment, a 33 pass sequence that saw Portugal work the ball down the right, with Rafa and Ronaldo playing a series of give and goes before Ronaldo rounded Gulashi beautifully to make it 3-0. Comfortable in the end. Ronaldo setting records for playing in the most Euros, scoring the most Euro goals, etc. And I think most of my frustration just comes from what I said at the beginning. It didn't need to be that difficult. Credit to Santos for eventually making the changes that needed to be made. And I guess some would argue that, his plan in the end worked out. It may have been to grind Hungary down and then kill them at the end. Tactical mastermind if that was it. But I just don't buy it, given how Santos has a history of being overly cautious. With the quality that Portugal have, they don't really need to do that kind of thing. They didn't need a double pivot. I think there's enough quality there to not do that. But anyway, I know, I'm being a moaner after Portugal have won 3-0, an important 3 points, and I absolutely expect us to play the double pivot against France and Germany and revert to counter-attacking, and I don't hate that against France and Germany because it makes sense. I just wish we'd remove the shackles now and then. But Fernando Santos, he's won a European Championship and I'm a YouTuber, so. Okay, shut up Adrian, no more venting. France versus Germany was the first big blockbuster match of this tournament, certainly one that many neutrals were looking forward to. Germany have a point to prove after 2018, and France come in with the weight of expectation following, well, that win in 2018. It was Benzema who got the start, his Charlie horse or whatever he had on his knee seemingly going down, swelling going way down and not impeding him from playing, alongside Mbappe and Griezmann in the attack. Germany, they went with a front three of Havertz, Muller, and Gnabry, and instead of Kimmich in the midfield, he was forced out wide where he isn't as effective. Now, perhaps if Germany had a true number 9 that could get on the end of crosses, Kimmich would be a great fit there as a right wing back. But I just feel like you lose so much in your midfield when you don't have him there. Respect to Kroos and Gundogan, but I just rate Kimmich as, well, one of the best in the world at that position. At this point of time, I mean. Respect to Kroos and Gundogan, of course, they're great midfielders. But I mean, Kimmich is just S tier right now. And it was the attack where Germany struggled the most. Sure, they were unfortunate to have Hummels score an own goal in 20 minutes in. The man was cooked on Twitter for that, given his tweet from 2016. Shout out to Zach for sharing that. And other than that, Germany's defense was okay in the first half. I was a bit surprised with France's approach, but I think that Deschamps got it absolutely correct. Germany showed that they are still a very good side that can, mix it up with the best in the tournament. But they have two major flaws that will allow fast, counter-attacking teams to destroy them. Their defense, destroy. Their defense can be absolutely beaten with a quick transition, and their attack is toothless. Sometimes allowing your opponent to have all of the ball isn't a bad thing, and that's what France did with Germany. Germany passed and shot into the stands, shot wide, had shots blocked, and troubled Hugo Lloris just once in this game. From 10 attempts, by the way, they had one shot on target, and they never really looked like scoring for the most part. France, on the other hand, were happy to sit back and punish Germany with their lightning attack, clinical attack, and they did that to great effect in the second half. On another day, Mbappe would have been a few inches further back and onside, and his own stunning goal, and the one that he set up for Benzema, would have counted. They hit the back of the net 3 times in this match, and the only one that counted was the one that Hummels sent past Neuer. There's different ways to control the game, and it doesn't always involve possession. If your opponent struggles with scoring goals, and you have the players who have the explosive pace, then putting some trust in your defense and countering can be a good call. What's interesting about France, they can do both, and they're dangerous with both, either dominating the ball or countering. Oh, and I said on my stream that I'm tired of debating penalties after this long season, but France absolutely should have had one. It looked like Hummels had pulled off the Hollywood tackle of the century on Mbappe, but that final replay from behind the goal showed that he went through the legs of Mbappe, hit his ankles, and then the ball. Man, then ball. Not that it made a difference in the end, thankfully. So, a 1-0 win for France, not how I picture them getting it, but the result checks out. And that result was good enough for second place on goal difference for now, as Portugal are in first, Germany in third, and Hungary in fourth. Next up, Portugal versus Germany, huge, and France taking on Hungary on the 19th. Hey, thanks for watching this video, guys. It's been great following this tournament so closely, taking in the matches together. The double watch along was, a little bit tiring, but a ton of fun. So thanks once again to all of you for showing up, and especially to the moderators like Zach, Cynthia, Miguel, and Leif for taking care of the spam. I'm Adrian. If you enjoyed this, then be sure to drop a like to appease the algorithm, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.